What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Acts of Creation. And on this week's lesson, we talk a little bit about negative harmony. So one of the things I like to do here on this channel is to take a musical concept and look at ways how we can incorporate that into our guitar playing, our riff writing, and our songwriting. So what I want to talk about today is negative harmony. And some of you might be asking, well, what is negative harmony? Well, essentially, it's a modern name for an old idea. If you're not familiar with the music of Jacob Collier, a young musician who's absolutely phenomenal, he's recently brought this topic to the forefront of the music community. And everybody really likes it, and it's a fascinating idea. What I wanted to do was, I had fun with the Willy Wonka classic, Pure Imagination, and I played it, made a little chord and melody arrangement for it, and then I played it once, and then halfway through I'll flip it over and we play the negative harmony of that melody. So let's check that out. We'll come back, I'll talk a little bit more, and then I'll explain how to play what we did. Hopefully you guys can hear how this can be a fun way to compose music and come up with some new ideas. You probably realized that as I switched over to the negative harmony, you were still able to recognize it. It didn't sound like a different piece of music. You know, and that is because we're not changing the rhythm, and fundamentally rhythm is the most important aspect of music. So we're not changing any of that, so you can still recognize it. Now, one of the things that's important to keep in mind here is that if you're not very strong with your music theory, if you don't know how to build chords or what an interval is or a chord scale and things like that, you'll probably have a really hard time digesting negative harmony and incorporating it into your playing. And there are some phenomenal resources on YouTube. Alright, first of all, check out some of the music of Jacob Collier. You see a lot of advanced compositional techniques being used in a very pop-oriented way. There's a channel, June Lee, he does a lot of transcriptions of Jacob Collier's music, and it's just fascinating to watch and just look at the music go by. I'm sure everybody's familiar with Rick Beato and his channel. He has a great video. I'll have links down in the description below about like mirror harmonies, where he talks about scales and modes and basically playing them backwards through each other. So for example, you can play C major, right? Go up C major, and when you get to C, flip the major scale around and play it literally its reversed version of it, and that gives you C Phrygian, right? You get this sound. And it resolves really nicely back to C major. And you know, from a compositional or songwriting point, now you're looking at chords from C and C Phrygian, right, which is just A flat major. So now all of a sudden I have this chromatic line that essentially works. And that's a really cool concept to explore and check out. So again, that link will be down below. Adam Neely's channel, and he has a video called Why is Major Happy? And I would definitely check out that, because I think it relates to Jacob Collier's interpretation of negative harmony and how he uses it compositionally, right? If you're familiar with the circle of fourths, let's pretend C is here, you have your flats, and then you have your sharps here, right? So your modes are designed the same way. As you go up the sharps, the sound gets brighter, and as you go down the flats, the sound gets darker or closer together, right? So you can bring those aspects together when you're writing or composing. And on Adam Neely's video, he's got this great piece where he shows the chords moving up the circle of fifths and down the circle of fifths, and you can kind of hear the music compressing and expanding, right? And it ties into Collier's viewpoint of composition, where, you know, a lot of people view music as colors and expressions, right? So if you arrive at a certain chord from this direction, it'll give you a certain color and feeling. And if you arrive from the same but opposite direction, you'll still arrive at the same point, but with a slightly different perspective. And that's how Collier really incorporates it into his composition. I think that's the most exciting idea when you try to rip this apart and incorporate it in your playing. All right, guys, so now that I've kind of talked way too much about that, let's kind of go in and look at this example, right? And I had said before that negative harmony, you're essentially inverting the melody. Now, I'm not going to go through this melody note by note to show you that inversion, right? But for example, it opens up with these notes. You have this. That's the first couple phrases. So you have, everything is just inverted, right? If I'm playing a minor third up, and then from that note playing a fifth, right? So here I can go to that first note and reverse those intervals. Minor third down, fifth down. Right, and the melody is completely reversed. Notes that were going up are now going down. Notes that are going down are now going up. And like I said, I wanted to keep the chord and melody relatively as simple as possible. I probably played it a lot harder than I had to, but let's go through it a little bit so we can have some fun. So as we work through this song, before we get started, I am on a 7th string in a drop A tuning. Right, so that means the 7th string is down one whole step. If you want to follow along with the tabs, down in the description below, you can find a PDF version and a Guitar Pro version. And then while you're down there checking out all the links and getting the tabs, please subscribe because we do this weekly. Alright, so I am playing this fingerstyle, you don't have to, and I did want to try to take advantage of the 7th string to get some really wide voicings, okay? So it opens up with this melody. And here I put this chord, this F sharp minor chord on here. And that voicing is 8 on the 7th string, skip a string 11, and then skip a string 11. And then the second voicing is 6 on the low, A, 5 on the G, 6 on the high string again. So we have this voicing, 11 on the 6, skip a couple strings, G, 12 on the G, and then 10 on the high string. And then we have this part, the melody is, right, 10, 11 on the high string. And the bass line is going to walk up chromatically. And then as you land on that 10th fret, that G note, I play this chord, this little G minor chord. So your melody is, so the chords, I play the low C, skip a string 6, skip a string 5. And then I'll slide up with my first finger, hold the bass note and the ring finger note, both to 8. Hold this note and then reach up for 11, 12. Nice 7th interval, really ugly, but in context, it's really pretty. 9, 11 on the B, and then again, here's a really nice, trying to take advantage of the low tuning, right? This low first fret, B flat, and then high G. F, E flat, or 6, 4 on the B. And you get this G major 7 chord, right? 4, skip a string, 3, skip a string, 4, 4, 3. Now we're gonna do the negative harmony, and I took some liberties with this. I took the melody, I displaced it, I put it up just to have some fun with it. I reinterpreted some of the chords. I'm not going to go through all of them, but it's fun, right? So the negative harmony, we have 13, 14, and 12 right there. Right here, off of this chord, I built this nice B flat type chord. Really pretty chord. 13 on the low A, skipper string 15, 12. The second chord voicing, 11 here, 15, 15 on the B and the G. And then the third chord voicing is basically it's an E major 7 chord just with the low octave with a flat 5 or a sharp 4 in it. And here the melody note, same thing, right? Stepping up from 10 to 11. A nice E flat chord. E 6 and 6 on our opposites, high and low. And then 8 on the G, 8 steps down to 7, and then 8, skip 2 strings to 8 on the G string, right? So essentially it's a D minor chord. And then you grab 10 on the B. Nice B flat chord here. B flat, C, and F. This little chord right here, I grab the E flat on the bottom, like an E flat minor 7 chord, just do low. Same notes, just down here, and this awesome chord right here. You resolve back to the C chord, right? And I play this nice, wide, crazy looking chord. Where it's basically a C11, 9 chord. Really nice chord to play. There you go, guys. Negative harmony. It's pure imagination. I hope you guys had fun with it. It was really fun to put that together. Like I said, down in the description below, you can find all the links to the videos I talk about. You can also find the PDF and Guitar Pros for the transcription. And while you're down there, please subscribe. And as always, let me know what you come up with. So until then, I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.